Hello, digital space. Before we begin, let's get into the right brain space. Why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road? Because it was stuck in a crack. You're listening to Brainful, Please Hold, where I ramble about whatever file is taking up the most space in my mind. I'm Mindy, and today we're opening the file about judgment. Hop on the brain train and enjoy the ride. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is my first episode on my podcast, Brainful, Please Hold. And today we're going to be diving into judgment, particularly judging people without knowing their story or their journey. So I'm going to begin with a story that we're going to call this the Kung Fu incident. So teacher came up to her and wanted to talk to her and discuss something about her behavior in class. This one is about her scratching somebody. I know she's a good kid, and I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation on why I'd scratch this other kid. So luckily, the teacher was like, this is a little out of character. I'm going to dig a little deeper. So the teacher digs a little deeper, and lo and behold, she finds out that the other kid actually punched her first. And we thought, that was the end of the story. Other kid punched her, retaliated, end of discussion, we'll figure it out, reprimand them, console them, and figure out a plan moving forward, right? No, this teacher actually goes and she digs even further. So what she finds out is, now mind you, before I get into this, at their school, they have specials, like we usually do, like phys ed or art or music or things like that. So they luckily have something that somebody comes in and they practice Kung Fu. So the wonderful student that she is wanted to practice a little bit before class, was deciding to practice a little bit before we go into class so that I'm warmed up, right? But what happens is that practicing her Kung Fu just a little bit too close to this one particular classmate. And so this classmate thought was coming to attack her. I mean, if there was somebody practicing Kung Fu close to me, punching and kicking, I would think that they were attacking me as well. So the other student, of course, thinks that attacking her, so retaliates and punches her. Hence why this one child punched first, and of course retaliated by scratching her. But it makes sense. I mean, it's a really big misunderstanding with all of this. So really, I am so grateful that this teacher is so willing to go out and understand why these children have these behaviors. We honestly need a lot more teachers like that to not judge the behavior, but try and understand the situation altogether. But that's a topic for another day. Really, this story I'm telling you, because we're talking about judgment, is really, a lot of times people judge people because of their own reflection or how their behavior forces them to think inward and reflect on their behavior, whether or not they like it or not. And typically, if they don't like what they're seeing, they're going to retaliate by judging other people outwardly, focusing on what they're doing that themselves are not doing. So it's really judging people without knowing their story or their journey. And it's honestly really not fair, because nobody wants to be judged for somebody not understanding the full story. I tell my children all the time that if somebody is attacking you physically, but more verbally, or saying things mean to you, it's really not a reflection on your behavior. It's more of a reflection on theirs. Like, say, for example, if somebody behind your back is judging you on what you're wearing, it's mostly because maybe they have a little bit of self-confidence issue, or they are jealous that you can wear those clothes and they can't wear those clothes, or maybe that person has more confidence in what they're wearing and isn't afraid to just be themselves, where then the other person is like who's judging them is like, well, I wish I could do that. So because I don't have the confidence enough to do that, I'm going to now just criticize them and judge their clothes because I myself am uncomfortable with how I am dressing or something like that. We've all had these situations. Obviously, it's not always dressing. It could be the way that they talk, the way that they look, the way that they present themselves, their confidence, their clothes, their house, their kids, their life, their significant other. I mean, I can go on and on and on what people judge people on. And, going older now, I'm in my 40s. I really realized that, that actually doesn't do anything for me by judging others. I have been catching myself saying something and then realizing like, why am I saying that? Like, I don't understand why I'm saying that. It's not a great thing that what I'm saying, because I shouldn't be doing that. Those people, whatever they choose in their lives, most likely has nothing to do with my life or any effect on mine whatsoever. So who am I to say or tell them what they're wearing, what they're doing is inappropriate or whatever it is? So, like, I don't know their journey. I don't know their story. I don't know where they came from. Maybe this person whose shorts are a little bit shorter. Actually, this happened over the weekend when we brought my children to go see. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the YouTube channel that is creating the Amazing Digital Circus, but my kids are obsessed with it. So we went to go see the movie. And my one friend was talking about this one girl who had athletic shorts on, the tight athletic shorts. And they were pretty short. Honestly, she looked amazing in them, like just really awesome. But my friend kind of commented, like, oh my God, her shorts are so short. Like, I would never wear something like that. And I started to say something, but then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. Her choice of clothing has no effect on my life whatsoever. And who am I to judge her for wearing those kind of shorts? I mean, her butt looks amazing. So I don't really see why I would need to say anything about what she's wearing. So I actually stopped myself while I was having a conversation with my friend and just backtracked a little bit. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I said this out loud to my friend. I'm like, she looks amazing. I'm like, her clothes is her clothes. She's comfortable in wearing what she's wearing. I'm like, and it doesn't matter. Like, we'll just move on. She looks awesome. And I feel that most people don't say things like that to disrupt that kind of negative commentary, that judgment. And a lot of times it stops the conversation because people don't know what to do when you don't, I guess, commiserate with them. It could be judging, it could be anything, it could be anything negative. And it's actually pretty funny when you get into this type of situation that the other person has absolutely no idea how to respond to somebody not agreeing with their criticism or negative commentary. And I think it's actually really funny because everybody starts to feel super awkward. I mean, I definitely start feeling awkward, even though I'm the person that's disrupting the whole conversation. But it's still really strange because, as I said, the conversation stops, it pauses. But honestly, I think it's really good because what I'm hoping is that because I stopped the negative commentary and did not get on that awful judgment train, that they are reflecting inward on why they were saying those mean things and reflecting more on their behavior. So that's really my hope in disrupting this type of negative behavior, especially when it's women judging other women. We should be supporting each other. I mean, especially in these times. Again, I live in the United States. If you guys don't follow the news, the stuff is really insane right now. But women, we should be supporting one another, not pitting us against each other. I mean, that's what society wants to do, wants to pin us, put us, whatever, wants us to be fighting each other, because if we're too busy fighting each other, I mean, this is very typical in all of history, is that if two groups or the same group have infighting or fighting against each other, they're not seeing what's happening all around them. And if women are constantly judging each other, trying to one up each other, and all these things, and not coming together as a group, that actually weakens us as a whole. And women right now, we need to support one another. I mean, not even right now, all the time. Like, we need to support one another regardless of what others think, because the more that we band together, the stronger we are to be able to fight the injustices that are happening right now. Again, I digress. I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole nother episode. But it really breaks down to judging people before you actually know them. And it's really important that we try and disrupt that kind of behavior, because it's so easy societally. It is so easy to get wrapped up in other people's complaints, other people's judgments, other people's negative commentary. And it actually, you don't think it's actually going to take a toll on you, because you're not the actual one that is um, saying all these things, but the people that you surround yourself with is who you end up being. If you see negative things all the time, you hear negative things all the time, you're going to start doing that. If you hear and see people judging other people all the time and you participate in those kind of conversations, you're going to start doing it a lot more. So my hope for all of you is that you try and disrupt those conversations. I know it's going to be hard. There's going to be probably pushback. You're probably going to get a lot of weird looks, because people don't know what to do when somebody is not commiserating with them or not agreeing with them and things like that. So it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, but stand your ground. You'll feel so much better about it. Even if you don't feel confident about it in the first place, you'll feel confident and better about yourself in the long run. I know that when I disrupt conversations like this, it is very awkward at first, but at the end of the day, when I walk away, I actually feel better about myself, and I stand a little taller. I stand a little straighter. I'm a lot more confident when I walk around, because I'm not constantly judging everybody else and judging myself. If you judge other people, you're totally judging yourself at the same time. So let's learn from Kung Fu incident. Don't have a Kung Fu moment. Be aware of your surroundings. Take a moment, breathe, set your intentions clearly. Never judge someone too quickly without knowing the full story. And even if you do know the full story, still probably doesn't affect you. So you really have no jurisdiction on judging someone. And if you don't want to know the whole story, then you are going to have to prepare to get scratched. I'm just kidding. No, well, not really, but yes, no. But anyway, you really have no right to judge someone else. So please, let's just be kind. Judging is a part of human behavior, but let's try and fight back against it. Put up some boundaries. Tell yourself, no, I don't want to do that. Even if you start doing it, it's okay to backtrack. No big deal. I do it all the time, because it's easier to judge than it is to be understanding. So that's all for my thoughts for today. Well, there's still a ton more, but I'm going to stay with this so far today. So stay clappy, digital space, and I will see you next time.